Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. I still don't have a repaired pick, but I don't know what to do. So you ever been in those bathrooms that you hate the design of?
No, I don't think I have.
You never been in a bathroom you didn't like the design of?
I mean, okay. There was one time I was in London and there was a bathroom at the bottom of the stairs, and there wasn't any walls or anything. And if you just came down the stairs, then everyone saw you peeing. I really didn't care for that. But I don't know if that was the bathroom. It was just a toilet and no, there wasn't even a sink. It was just a toilet in the ground.
Are you sure it wasn't just a hole?
I mean, it was. I mean, you had a knob where you could hit it and flush it, but it was just a toilet in the middle of. It was just a toilet in the pin. It was a public toilet, basically. Which I mean, I don't like those toilets that come out of the ground at night. Which that sounds like some kind of fucking horror movie.
Wait, what? What kind of toilets? Streets like haunted toilets?
Oh god! In the streets of London, they have those toilets that just rise up.
Yes, the streets of London, the haunted rising toilets.
You don't know about the rise up toilets?
No.
Yeah, there's literally in the fucking sidewalks of London, there are these X's that are toilets that you can piss in that rise up out of the ground at nighttime.
I've had some bad relationships and had some X's of my own too, but I don't call them like dirty toilets.
I'm not making this up, man. It's like a four section toilet. It's just basically like the corner of a fucking wall to stop people from pissing on the corner of buildings or whatever else. And they're not there during the day. During the day, you would basically walk around them and not even know they're there. And at night, they rise up. and there's just toilets. You got people just pissing in the street, basically. There's no walls.
They rise up. Start a revolution.
They do.
The haunted toilet revolution.
A piss revolution. There's a piss revolution at night in London.
No, I've never heard of this before.
I mean, having traveled with pyro places, I kind of understand. Everywhere I've ever gone with pyro, he has pissed outside somewhere with lots of people around with no regard.
I've pissed outside on multiple occasions in my life. Not usually with multiple people around. It's funny though, because that's not because I'm concerned about pissing in front of other people, because I don't really care. I'm not shy like that. I will, like, people who can't pee in a public bathroom when there's somebody else in there, dude, I'll turn around and piss on your shoes. I don't really care. I just don't want to get in trouble and get like indecent exposure tickets, or
right,
put on a sex offender registry or something like that because I was pissing outside.
The very first time I met Pyro was in London, or not in London, in Paris at
it was
Disney.
in the bathroom. That's
it was in the bathroom. No, it was just in fucking Disney in Paris.
I was like, dude, you piss outside. That's awesome. Join the serve.
And he's just pissing on the wall, and some guy comes up and is like, "Hey, you're peeing!" And they high five, and the guy fucking goes off. Just some random guy.
So, do they come up with? They don't. They just come up and there's no walls. It's just literally a toilet that comes out of the ground.
No, it's like an X or a plus sign that they rise up, and so it's 4 holes to pee in. It's like 4 urinals that rise up. And they are the walls. So there's no wall. I mean, if you were one of those people that pull their pants down around their ankles when they pee, which is really weird in itself, but if you were one of those people, you'd see fucking ass cheeks over there peeing, basically.
What I'm gonna say is that is pretty freaking awesome, and I wish they had those in DC.
Well, I think it's smart because, I mean, I've seen people fucking pull their pants down and take a shit on the side of a building before.
Wait, were you always over here?
I was. Well, not always. I mean, I've been other places before.
Have you been over by the farm since?
Well, briefly. At the start of our first episode, I was over there. But
not start of this episode.
No.
Somebody else is over there.
That's Breon.
Oh my god, I thought it was you, and that's why I came over here. I thought you were done. I didn't even pay attention. I didn't even know Breon was on. I never hit tab.
Well, that's what happened to me the other day. Whenever we started the episode where I gave myself the stuff for the beacon, I thought you were standing beside me, and the whole time it was Brian was standing beside me. So whenever he started saying like "I see you" or whatever, I was like, "What's he talking about? Where does he see me? He ain't nowhere about here." Because I thought you were he was you or whatever. So yeah, I've done that. I know what you mean.
That's I had no idea Brian was even on. That's crazy. So yeah, I really, but those toilets would be awesome. I wish we had some.
I mean, I don't think that kind of thing would work in America. We freak out about that sort of stuff.
There'd be multiple people on a sex offender registry list, that's for sure, and it'd all be based on, you know, following like what they put into public places. No, I actually was meaning from like a design perspective. I guess it is a design perspective. So at my work, I often have to walk around with my laptop because I go to meetings and I have to show people a lot of different things. And I often stop in the bathrooms, and many bathrooms have like a shelf that I could toss my laptop onto if I gotta go take a piss at the urinal or something like that real quick. Some of them it's annoying because you just put it on the sink, and the sink is often wet, so you have to like wipe the sink down first before you.
You know, why is that in public bathrooms? All around the sink is always soaked. You come out of the bathrooms half the time if you're not paying attention because you like leaned over to get soap and you're like the whole front of your shirt gets soaked.
Yourself because yeah, you lean against it. Yeah, I think part of that has to do with like the sink designs that are the sinks built into the counter and everything is flush. It splashes a lot easier. You know what I'm talking about? It's not like a sink that sit into a hole. It's like it built into the counter. I don't know. It's really weird. I think some of it's that people, what they do in public places is they're less courteous and they'll rinse their hands and then they'll like shake them dry over the counter before they walk over to like the hand dryers or whatnot.
Right.
And the hand dryers, since they never actually do dry your hands, when you walk away from a hand dryer, your hands are still wet and you shake them on the way out.
Yeah, but they're not normally near the sink.
That's true.
They're normally, you know, a little far away.
So I went into one of the bathrooms today, and it was even worse because it not only didn't have a shelf, but it was an older bathroom that literally just had a toilet and one of those sinks that come out of the wall. Like, they didn't even have a counter space. So I'm like, fuck, this is stupid. Now I got my laptop in my hand. There's not even a urinal in here. Like, it's a standard, like, sit-down toilet. So it's like a one-person bathroom, you know. So I set my laptop, which I've done in these situations before, on the sink, angled across the sink, so it's resting on, you know, two of the sides of it. Usually not a problem. It's just annoying because, you know, you're on a sink and it's teetering a little bit. You hope you don't accidentally hit it or, you know, whatnot, and you hope the sinks aren't really dirty or whatever to get, you know, shit all over my laptop. I wasn't paying enough attention. Take a wild guess at what happened.
Either fell on the ground or fell in the sink.
No, neither of those. So you wouldn't have been thinking about it either, is another thing that I'm getting out of this. I tossed it up.
Was the sink gone?
No.
Was it one of those sinks where you got to press the thing down and it cuts on?
No, it was.
It was an automatic sink.
Automatic sink. Laptop crossed the beam.
They say don't cross the beams.
Laptop got a shower.
Oh man,
it's okay.
What I'm taking away from this is that your coworkers should not touch your laptop because that has been in a lot of bathrooms.
I mean, yeah, that's what you want to take away from it, sure. It's true. It's been in a lot of bathrooms. I find it funny, like...
Maybe it needed a shower after all the bathrooms had been in.
I find it really ironic because I sit in a lot of meetings with, you know, my leaders, my boss, you know, people above me, people at my level, people below me. What do I constantly see at these meetings is every freaking nursing leader sitting there with a pad of paper and a pencil or a pen taking notes through meetings. I'm always the only one, and this includes my team, which I find crazy because my team is the informatics team. I'm always the only one sitting there with a laptop. And whether I was in informatics or not, in college I always brought my laptop to class with me because why do I want to write down notes when I can type notes?
Yeah, I think some people just have always been in that habit because it's one of those things, and I think it's an age thing. I think as generations grow up, I think it's going to be less and less. I think you'll probably see a lot of people more actually using tablets more than laptops even to take notes. Some might still be with hands, because you know you can still use your like a stylus or whatever with your hand. But I think the reason why is because whenever we were kids, you weren't allowed to have electronics in school. It was fucking banned. Like, I mean, you can't bring your phone to school. You can't bring this to school because you're Dicky Dur.
Because of Dicky Dur.
So I think it's just an age thing, generational thing that will probably change. I mean, because now every classroom has iPads and all these other type of devices, and it's used in education. So I think that's just something that will phase out over time, hopefully.
Yeah, I just think it just baffles me because I can get so much, especially because people will be like, oh yeah, somebody emailed me about that, and then they'll pull out their phone and try to scroll through like the work email on their phone trying to get to the email, which is obviously much less intuitive to be able to find things on a phone interface than it is on, like, you know, Outlook.
That's one thing. So, you know, I've been in court a lot over the last 2 years for divorce and custody and all those sorts of things. And so I've sat and listened to many custody hearings and we'll watch people present evidence. And so at the courthouse, you're not allowed any electronic devices in the building. You must leave all cell phones and all of these things in your vehicle. You cannot bring them indoors. And I just think it's insane the number of...
What do you do?
You print out fucking text.
But I mean, what do you do while you're waiting? Don't you wait
Oh.
like 6 hours before you get seen half the time?
Right, you bring a book. I've read a lot of books. I read a book a day. One time, I just said, "Fuck it." I brought
been
my
a million days yet, Guude. 1 million days.
I brought my my cell phone in, and the person my ex-wife was dating tattled on me to the bouncer, and he came up and he was like, or bouncer, I guess. What
they should just call them bouncers.
Yeah. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. The officer. They're not. Are they real cops though, or
the bailiff?
What
I believe. I'm pretty confident that they are real cops. Yes.
Okay, because I mean, I've always seen like the same ones there, so I just assume that that's like all. Like I don't think that they. I don't know. I feel like that's like the cushy job, like a desk job in some way, where you're not. But yeah, he just came walked up. He's like, "You got a cell phone?" I'm like, "Yes, I have a cell phone." He's like, "All right, take it outside." It's like, okay.
That was the highlight of his day.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's silly to see these people walking in with printed out texts and stuff, because they're not allowed to bring their phone in. It's like, I mean, I've also listened to a lot of people that don't sound super intelligent testify, and I can understand that they may not, know how to silence their phone and not sit there and talk on their fucking phone or whatever. So I guess I can understand why this is a rule or whatever, but I don't know. It does seem it's just silly.
Yeah, no, I mean, we live in a technological age where we have access to information at our fingertips, and especially at something like a court case, when you might need to fact check something on the spot that gets stated.
Right. Well, like there was a time when I was presenting evidence on, a certain thing, and I'd printed out this evidence, and the other attorney was like, "How do we know if this is true?" And I was sitting there thinking, well, you could fucking Google it just like I did, and pull it down from the state's website if you had a phone.
Just walk out to your car, get on your phone.
The thing is, the lawyers are allowed to bring their phones, and like whenever I had to hire an attorney recently because the tenant that wasn't moved out, we were waiting for the people that were in front of us to hear their case, and the whole time we're sitting there waiting for them to hear, he was sitting there reading Facebook. So it's like the lawyers aren't. I mean, they're not just bringing their phone in for strictly business related purposes.
That'd be really funny if the lawyer's phone started going off in the middle of the trial. Like
it did actually. He got a phone call and he had to get up and go out. He even answered it in the courtroom.
That's insane. I mean, but I do agree with you. It baffles me on how many people don't silence their phones. And I understand if you forgot to silence your phone and it starts ringing and you scramble to try to find it and get it turned off. Like, yeah, it might piss some people off, but I get it. Shit happens. The people who I used to, and this wasn't even the silent thing. One of the fire class I took a couple years ago. And a buddy who was from my station too, and I used to give him a hard time about it all the time, and I don't think he understood. He would set his phone on the desk in the middle of class, and I think we both did, but I had mine like completely silenced, and so I could like still text message people like when nobody was paying attention, or read messages as they came in. So you can still look at some things on your phone without really being disruptive. And he left his on vibrate. And
so it's just as bad. Like,
well, and so you'd set it on the desk and it'd vibrate, and I kind of get that too. It vibrates for a minute, you hit the button on the side of it, it stops. He would literally look at his phone, tip it up, like read who it was that was calling, like shake his head, and just put his phone back down on the table and let it keep vibrating until they stop.
Oh my God.
And I am baffled. The instructor never said a word to him, which I was so shocked about. But it drove me insane because it would just be like, brr, 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 like for solid 2 minutes or whatever it was that I was going off for. And it happened at least once a class. Oh, goddamn. If not, like multiple times during a class.
Wow.
But yeah, so people definitely have a non-understanding of outside of their own bubble. Like,
it's just weird how, I don't know, how people can get like that. How does that happen? How do you not realize?
Yeah, you know what? That is an interesting question. Like, how do they not realize that is wrong? Is it that they, like, quote unquote, not raised right, or are they just having like a brain malfunction on one specific type of thing? Like, I don't, yeah, I guess I don't get it at all.
It's got to be not raised right, I feel like.
I mean,
I
think
the problem started before they even were aware.
Sure, but I guess you can be raised right and still have one or two things that you were raised with an incorrect assumption of or understanding of. And it could theoretically be like courteousness with a phone. Maybe they were raised in a way that every phone call is important and everybody gets important phone calls. So phone calls are completely acceptable for everybody to receive whenever they need to, type of deal. I don't know,
It just feels like
I'm trying to make something up, like because you could have so many arguments of that. Of sure, phone calls are acceptable as long as they didn't make you throw your phone in the car like they do at the courthouse or whatever. They're still giving you the right to get those phone calls if an important phone call comes through. Sure, like.
And I mean, but just common courtesy would still, to me, suggest that you get up and take your business in a place that's appropriate.
Yeah, I would agree, or at least silence it.
Yeah.
Always turn it the hell off.
I mean, it's silly that we still have to tell people at the movie theater before every fucking movie, turn off your phones.
So I haven't been in the movie in so long, and it's kind of funny because I actually am a movie pass holder. From like when like the one that's still good, like I can see the unlimited movies for the duration of my contract. I don't know if you've heard all the stuff going on with Movie Pass. They're basically going to go out of business, but
oh really?
Yeah, they've changed it now to where except they have to like keep going with the current agreements. If you have like a year subscription like I have, they have to like honor it for the rest of the year. But you can only see 3 movies a month. And you can only see certain show times, and you can't even see all movies. It's only certain movies that they select that are eligible for being able to be seen anymore. Whereas it was originally, advertised as see unlimited movies every month, like any showing, any movie, etc. I purchased it like 3 months ago before they went through this all this trauma. I haven't gone to the movies yet.
I don't think I would use it enough, honestly.
If you use it like twice a month,
how much was it?
It pays for itself. It's like $8.99 a month is the
oh shit! Oh, that's really worth it.
So it was $89 for a year. It was a special that I got it on. But
okay, that's definitely worth it.
Pay it monthly. So yeah, hell, if I see one movie a month, it makes it worth it.
But yeah. I was about to say, because like the tickets to the movie that we normally go to, it's like $6.95 for a kid and $11 for me.
Yeah, it would have been worth it. One movie that you see.
Yeah,
I could really make it worth it before my contract ends if I don't see anything, and just that my last month, since I'll still be grandfathered in, go watch every single possible movie I can watch that month, and then it's paid for itself.
I go see a lot of movies too, so something like that would. I mean, only kids movies though. To be fair, I go see a lot of kids movies.
Maybe I'm sure this is against the terms of the service, so I would never do it. But maybe I will just mail you my card and. I
wonder if it works at all theaters or how it works.
It's supposed to work at pretty much all theaters, and I'll say when I originally heard pretty much all theaters, I was like, sure, that's what they say now. I looked it up in DC, and I don't know if people have stopped participating or anything like that. So when I looked it up, every theater in DC, including like this little teeny independent run movie theater, were participating locations.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, now they've done fucked it up though. It's about to go out of business, and they're yeah. So
I wonder what happened. I guess it didn't work too well for the movie theaters themselves.
Well, I think they originally got the plan expecting it to be, like $50 a month or something like that, and they were expecting people to want to pay for it because it still would be worth it if you're a prime moviegoer. And then they dropped the price for all these promotional prices. I think they started at $30 a month, and they dropped it to $15, and they dropped it to $10 because they were trying to get a base of subscribers in there. And I think they were expecting to show how well it would work and help the movie theater. Concession stands are what really are driving to movie theaters. Payments and all this stuff. And but none of the movie theaters would come in. They were expecting to get like discounts from movie theaters from MoviePass people. They didn't want to partner with them, so they're still the company's still paying full price for every movie that a person goes and sees using MoviePass.
So they're just losing money.
They're losing money like hand over fist.
They're just gonna sell it for millions like Dollar Shave
Club.
Yeah,
you know what? They probably will sell it for millions like Dollar Shave Club. Biggest loss endeavor ever, and they're just gonna be like, "We're rich."
That's funny. Well, all right. I know we normally go a little bit past 20 minutes, but I gotta go because Beef's waiting on me, so we're gonna have to end this here.
All right, go enjoy your vegan podcast.
Why do you think it's a vegan podcast, by the way? Just because his name's Beef?
Yeah, you said you were doing a podcast with Beef, and I think it'd be awesome if a guy named Beef did a vegan podcast.
He started a podcast called My First Car, and it's kind of weird that he's asked me to be on because he's had all these like big name car people. No, but he's had like all these big name like I run a fucking car show and all this shit name people on. I don't know how I got selected as a guest because I'm like, I've had some cars.
Maybe you're allowed to talk about VWs today or something.
I guess so. My first car actually wasn't a VW, but you have to watch my first podcast on wherever Beef puts
to find out what it is.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, thanks for watching, yo.
All right. See you.